Well, hey YouTube, it's Elvis Ammo here. Hey guys, today I want to show you the SVBONY, the SV46. Now this is the one that I had been wanting to look at myself for a long time. And this is, this is probably your budget competitor to all of the big boys out there, and you can buy this one for I think maybe I think they're a little over 250 bucks compared to some of what your competitors might be, in the $600, $700, $800, $900 price range, somewhere in there. So that's why I wanted to see. I've been wanting to see this one for a long time. Now this is some HD glass, and I have shot video through this, and I have some footage that I'll show you, of my setup and the footage that I've been shooting through the scope, and I've been using. I bought this camera right here on Amazon just because I really wanted to try something out to get some better footage with this scope. So I bought this Spot Shot, and this is really not going to be a review on it. If you guys want to see a review on it, just let me know in the comment section, and if enough people want to see it, I'll show it to you. I'll do kind of a review on it. But it's very simple. It just has these, I'm showing this to you to show you how I got the footage that I did. There's your camera lens, and it just screws down kind of like a drill chuck. And with this scope, it has a, I'm doing that wrong. There you go. With this scope, it has a very large eyepiece. So you just put it wide open, and what I like about it is you just push it on there and it's straight and it's good just about every time. No fiddling around with it. So it looks like that. So anyway, that's how I'm getting the footage from this thing. Now take a look at this scope, this spotting scope. This is a 20 to 60. There's your zoom, and then you have a dual focus. So this dual focus, you rough it in here with this dial, and then this dial is your fine tune. And boy, let me tell you, it makes it easy to focus when you're doing it that way. So you can see the gear ratio when I'm turning this first one. So it just makes it really easy to fine tune. All right. So this is their HD glass, and take that off of there, and you just pull this end off. It gives you an eyepiece that you can move up and down, so that you can, if you're wearing glasses, for instance, you can put your glasses near the eyepiece. So when you're, in my opinion, whenever you're going long range with this thing, you want it like that. And then when you're zoomed in, you want it like that. That's kind of the way I've been using it anyway. And it does have a sunshade on it. So if you're looking directly into the sun, or, it'll reduce that glare for you. And it's just like that. But take a look at this thing real close. It feels like high quality for sure. And if you have this base on your tripod, you just unscrew this if you want to get a side angle like that. Like if you're sitting on your bench looking down range, and looking at your targets, for instance. You could be sitting on the bench and just look directly into this instead of having your spotting scope sticking up this way and you have to get off your seat, get off your rifle or whatever, and look down in there. It makes it real nice. And it is very smooth. Very smooth. I don't know if you can hear those clicking. Kind of like that. And then you just tighten your little screw down just like that. HD glass, you know, in this video, I'm going to show you, you know, a close up like I'm doing now of the spotting scope itself. I'm going to show you kind of how I had it set up at different times. And, you know, I took this thing, I've been spending a couple of weeks with it. You know, I was looking, you know, out over the mountains and all kind of stuff with this thing and trying to get some footage with this spot shot. And I'll put a link to all this stuff. I'll put a link in it and you can kind of look it up and look at the reviews and read about it, whatever you want to do. It's interesting. I will say this about this camera is, you know, trying to see my bullet holes at 300 yards, I could not make that out. It was just not enough definition. But definitely looking through the glass, I could see 300 yard 22 size holes, no problem. All right, but not with this. But it is pretty cool. And I was reading, you know, about this thing on the reviews, and it talks about, oh, the app is a problem. I've not had any problem with it. The only problem that I had with hooking up the app is I downloaded the Pro app instead of the regular Spot Shot app. And once I hooked up the right app, you know, I pulled it up on 3 different types of devices and had no problem. All right. So you can just pull it up on your phone and actually see what you're looking at through the spotting scope. But it's definitely not as high definition as looking directly through this glass by a long shot. And then once I try to transfer it to you guys to see, it's just nearly impossible. So I just really have to give my opinion on how well this thing looks. So I received this in a package with a tripod as well, and I'll show you that tripod as well. But you can buy this with or without the tripod, and it is high quality. But I still recommend 100% that if you are going to use this on a bench, that you just, I'll put a link to this in the description. This is just a cheapo tripod, all right? That's all it is. And I say it's a cheapo just because it's under 20 bucks or whatever it is. But you just, the reason I recommend this on a bench is because you don't have a tall tripod for the wind to blow and for things to move around. This thing is made of metal and there's just nothing to move on it. Once you tighten this down, it's just solid. All right. So you don't get all that jittering around going on if you have a solid bench for it to sit on. That's the key though. All right. So just so this is the tripod, and I just wanted you to see they have this little handle here that flips out where you can actually put your phone there. Now that's actually pretty handy if you have something like that Spot Shot, because you can put your phone right here while your Spot Shot is hooked up to your lens there on the front. And so that makes it kind of nice, and the phone just flips out, you know, it springs shut. And you can use that to hold on to manipulate this thing, or you can just flip it back up and snap it back in place. So this is just a, your run-of-the-mill kind of deal. You unscrew this and you have your up and down, and just tighten it. And then you have this one on this side where you can tighten it to keep it from spinning around, side to side like that. So, and then this is what the tripod head looks like. It's probably not heavy enough for wind and all of that kind of thing. But we'll talk more about this in just a minute. But it's a good tripod. It's what you would expect, for the price range of having a tripod with your spotting scope. And it also has this weight hook on it right here, like a lot of your decent tripods, would have. But that's what it looks like right there. This washer right here was actually right here on this line. I think they put it there to where if it drops, it cushions, but it made it where it wasn't smooth to spin around like this. So I just took it off and just kind of hung it around there for right now. So there's that. Now, as far as my opinion, on looking through this spotting scope, because in all honesty, guys, that's pretty much all you have to go on. But I don't care who it is. I don't care what you're taking pictures through this thing with. It's just never going to show what you actually see, while you're looking down this spotting scope. So, in my opinion, when I'm, the HD glass it's obvious that you're looking through a different scope. For instance, like one of the best way to describe it is two things. You're going to have more clarity and more color. So you're going to be able to see, a longer distance, more detail. So, like for instance, if you're looking at those tiny holes downrange and you're trying to reach out there as far as you can, or if you're trying to, if you're game watching or bird watching, you're just going to get more detail. And that's why I say that this is really, in my opinion, your competitor to, this is your budget, like competitor to a Vortex. You're probably going to have, just slight differences, between, some of your more high dollar scopes. That's the bottom line. I think they did a great job on it. The build of this thing is fabulous. This is a removable lens for people that are curious. Now, I believe that SVBONY actually, now they make, binoculars and telescopes, astronomy type telescopes and spotting scopes and a lot of these kind of things. And they also have cameras. And I don't know exactly which one works with this, but I would love to get one of their cameras and just see how well we can see through their cameras using, a spotting scope like this, for instance, instead of, a spot shot, that kind of thing. And from what I've seen, they're pretty reasonable, very reasonable. So maybe next, I will see if I can talk them out of, some camera choices maybe for these, and just, kind of give you guys an idea on how they hook up. Now, the footage that I shot, I was trying to give you an idea of kind of how I have it set up and some of the things that I was looking at. But I even looked, at places that were over 10 miles with this thing, and I'm not saying that I could see a cricket land on the ground, at 10 miles or anything like that. But, I could clearly see across mountaintops and that kind of thing. So anyway, I will leave a link in the description for, for their website, for Amazon. I'll also leave a link in the description for that little spot shot camera. And maybe you guys can just read about it if you're interested, since I was just talking about it. And I'm definitely going to leave a link to this silly little tripod that I've grown to love so much. So, and remember, you guys can, you guys can get one of these, with or without the tripod. So, but I will say the difference in value with the tripod's definitely worth it. But in all honesty, if you want a tripod is going to be, man, it is huge if you are doing some serious digiscoping, or, or if you're gaming out there, and you're stalking or trying to get pictures, and, if you're doing some serious scoping, you're going to need to spend at least, I'd say, close to a couple $100 for a good tripod. And you're not going to get it in a bundle, for $300 or whatever it is. It's just not going to happen. But the tripod, it's as good as my best tripod that I've had before that I like. Okay, just like that. But whenever you're looking long distance, any wobble, the wind blowing, vibration is just going to distort your shot, that kind of thing. But it definitely works if you're not a snob. But the scope, big thumbs up to SVBONY on the SV46. And I'll see you guys in the next video.